then I don't know. So we'll wait and see if anybody can hear or see me or what the issue is. I have no idea what's going on with it. The beagle is out there watching the neighbor lady shovel her snow. She's having a good time. But we'll see what happens. Because everything's on. I can't find any issues on here if there's any issues. But I'll have to wait for somebody to come in. One of the mods. I just messaged the mods to see if they could come in and at least hit it and let me know what's going on. Handsome Stone, since you're the only one in. And you can't hear. Is that correct? Just press 1 if you can hear. How about that? We'll just make it pretty simple. Loud and clear. Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that was all about. Everything was on. I don't know if it's the internet from all the snow or what's going on with everything today. So let's get this restarted. Let me get gloved up here. Get logged in. Log back into the comment section, and we'll go from there. We'll see what happens. It's always a good way to start 20 minutes late. Yeah, I have no clue what that was all about. But we'll just get going from there. So we'll see if anybody else can come in. Oh, there we go. All right, cool. Thanks. Thanks, Handsome Stone. Appreciate you. Go round 3. Yeah, I have no idea what that was about. But anyway, let's get back to it. So in hang under about 12 inches. Yeah, we you can pan back over here where the beagle was at. You can kind of see out there. I don't know if you can really see it too much or not, but we've gotten hit pretty good with some snow. The snow's kind of putting a little flash on the lighting. I'm not going to mess with the lighting, so we're just going to let it go as where it is for right now. But what I was saying in the first one is initially I got up because there's a rise factor to this. To make a beignet, there is yeast in it. And so I got up, I was going to do a little movie magic and do it ahead of time, make the first batch of beignet first. But it does seem to be, but the dough didn't turn out very well. So, as you can see that there, it is rising. So I think we are going to stick with that one. If it doesn't turn out, I'm going to make another one really quick. My initial thought was to make this first one, have it off to the side. I made this one at about 9:30, started it so it would have an hour and a half to rise up by the time we got on here. And it has risen, but I didn't like the dough. So if it comes down to it, if these don't puff up, then we will use this dough. I'm going to make another dough anyway. So love beignets. Yeah, I've never had one that I know of. I kind of think my mom made them out of the box stuff, the Café du Monde box stuff when we were kids, but I can't remember if, I really honestly don't remember it. But today we are going to have some, and what got me to this was, I was talking with Greg, the moderator, Greg Hart, and I was talking about, trying all this different chicory coffee that I've been trying the last few weeks. And he said, oh man, you got to have it with beignets. So I thought, you know what we'll do? We'll make it with beignets. So here we are. That's what we're going to do today. We're going to make it with beignets. And let me flip this light on here because it does look a little dark. So I'm going to drop this light into here and go from right there. There we go. Throw a little light on the subject. Oh, it looked a little dark. But I unplugged I just unplugged everything. That was my fix to the sound. I reset and unplugged everything. So anyway, I've already used the mixer once this morning to make that dough, but we're going to make another one. And we're going to make this, a lot of times when you see the recipes, they make like 24, 36, 48 beignets. I don't need 26, 30, 24, 36, 48 beignets. So I cut this down to be for a dozen, and that seems to, so I think that'll make about a dozen, and that's about what I want. That way I can give some to my neighbors. I can have a couple for the thing, and then a little bit for breakfast in the morning. But I want them while they're hot. So anyway, let's get started on that. We're gonna start off with a half a cup of water, and we're gonna heat that up to 115 degrees. Now normally when you're working with your yeast you want to go 110, but everything in here is cold, so I'm going to go just a little bit. I'm going to warm it up just a little past that. And we're going to start with that and throw that into the nuker, which this is like the only time I ever use my microwave, is to heat the water up for bread. See, that's the only time I ever use it. Let's see, we'll check out what's going on in the comment section. Not a whole heck of a lot. So I'm sure everybody's out worried with the snow right now. That seems to be a big deal. But we're going to use, so now we're going to put in 1 teaspoon, which I know that sounds like a small amount, but we're going to do 1 teaspoon of active dry yeast, because I am cutting this in half. And we'll wait for our water to come over there. I'm going to go ahead and add the sugar to it as well. And then we're going to do a sugar hack for the, I didn't have powdered sugar, and as you guys can all imagine with the weather today, nobody's going out to go, I'm not going to go risk my life for a box of powdered sugar. And we were supposed to get this, our weather warning started at 10 a.m. yesterday. So I tried to stay off the roads because I didn't know when it was actually going to get here. Because I live in a really weird weather pattern, and I wasn't going to risk being out and then getting hit on this. So then I'm going to throw in 2.5 tablespoons of sugar to give that yeast a little something to eat. There we go. That should be roughly enough. And then we'll take the temperature of that water, which that should be plenty. And we're going to do this today. Now, a lot of them recommend to do it in cottonseed oil. Once again, I'm not buying cottonseed oil because I don't need it or anything else than this. So I'm going to use a mixture of beef tallow and canola oil. So let's see where we're at with our, we're at 112, 114, 115, yeah, 115. That's where I wanted it to be. You guys can see that. We're at 1, it'll probably make me a liar now. Yeah, it's making me a liar now. But it was just at 115. So anyway, so we'll throw that in there and let that sit for about 10 minutes and bloom up. And we'll gather up some of our other stuff while we're doing that. Where's my milk? And then we're going to go, we'll gather up the other wet ingredients here. Lift this back just a smidge. And we'll get in and shake up. Milk's really creamy this time. So we're going to do 1/3 of a cup. It doesn't say 1/3 of a cup on the side. It says 1 1/3. Well, I got a 1/3 cup right here. I did a second ago. Like I said, I've already done this once this morning. So we have 1/3. That's a 1/4. I just had a 1/3. There it is. There's 1/3. So we'll do 1/3 of a cup of milk into there. There we go. Whole milk. Don't use the skim stuff. The skim stuff's no good for this. And let me set my timer for 8 minutes for that. To give that time, they give that time to bloom up a little bit. Hi Badger, hi Hanson. Bob the Builder, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you. So we've got our milk. I'm gonna move that back out of the way. We're gonna throw 1 egg into there. Throw an egg into that. Let my hands off. See how this oil's doing. All right. There we go. The oil's back there bubbling. I don't know if you can hear that or not. And then we're going to do 1/2 teaspoon of salt. The Beagle is totally involved. She's like, she is totally, I need to put her security vest back on. She has her sweat. She had a sweater on. She was outside about an hour ago. So we took off the t-shirt, went full sweater and outdoor coat. But she's over there. Our neighbor lady is shoveling her driveway. So she's going from window to window to supervise all that. Is everything going okay? Is everything good? All right. As long as you're happy, that's all that matters. There she is. She's down here. She's watching everything. She's like, what are you making? I'm kind of hungry. You out of food? No, you got food. Okay. She's looking at me like she's starving. Okay, so let me get some salt out. Which I think I must already have out. Yeah, that whole thing with the sound kind of got me a little discombobulated. And I have 2 things of salt, and I can't find either one. Oh, there they both are. So 1/2 teaspoon of salt. There we go. We'll just mix all this stuff up while our yeast is doing its thing. While it's having a snack before we put it to work. Put that over there. And it doesn't have to be amazingly beat up, because the mixer is going to do a lot of that. And that egg yolk is going to give us that nice yellow color for the dough. Let's see. And then oh yeah, that's blooming up nice. Yeast is going good. I highly suggest that if you use, I'm going to keep it real. Now the party started, what's going on? I highly suggest if you have yeast, keep it in the refrigerator. Put it in a mason jar. I've said before about getting like a vacuum sealer. Get vacuum sealers, they work really well. I have one for this one. And I love it. I use it for everything. And there's not a lot of ingredients in here, to be honest. Then we're going to do a little over 2 cups of flour, and I'm using all-purpose. Some folks I saw that they use bread flour. We could have used bread flour, could have used a lot of different things, but I'm going to stick with all-purpose just to see if it really makes a difference or not. Sometimes people suggest things they don't really need to suggest, so we might be there with that. Let me get a glass of this milk too. Should get the Coffee du Monde. We are using Coffee du Monde or Cafe du Monde. And there was about 1 million different things that said what cafe. We're going to use some CDM here this morning to have our beignets with. I've been loving this chicory coffee. It's been doing really, really well by me. And we're also going to do, once we get that started and we let that sit, we're going to make our own powdered sugar. So I got a little powdered sugar. If you're out of powdered sugar, I do have a powdered sugar hack for at home that'll work. So we're going to do that. We'll break out the blender and we'll do that to make everything. Why are you shivering? Are you shivering? Maybe you need a shirt on. It's not cold in here. Or you just wanting to go outside. I don't know. But yeah, so we'll do the sugar hack and we'll do all that kind of stuff. I think she's completely enthralled by what's going on outside. So yeah, but that's blooming really well. It's got about a little more than 3 minutes, and I've got the lard heating up over in the tallow, beef tallow, and I will mix in a little bit of canola oil or some other kind of neutral oil here. I do have to stir up. I got my milk warming on the back burner over on the back part here, because we're gonna have the we're gonna make our coffee official. We're gonna do half warm milk and half chicory coffee. Is this her first winter? No, this is let me see, she'll be two this year, so second winter. But this is probably the first winter that she's had this much snow. I can't remember if it snowed that much last year or not. But it was definitely, it's a lot of snow. She didn't last too long. She hasn't been lasting too long on walks. I ordered some snow boots for her, some different snow boots that fit. She has snow boots, but they don't stay on her feet. Because if you've ever noticed with the Beigs, she has really teeny tiny little feet. And so the other ones, they were, there she is. She's over there doing her thing. She's over there doing whatever she's doing. I usually don't show into the other part of the house, but this is what I deal with all day long. She's trying to find her tail and snap it off. So yeah. Rich, choo, what's up, buddy? I'm just enjoying being snowed in, and I don't know if that lady has somewhere to go. I'm not shoveling my walk until the snow is done. Or at least tonight, probably around 7 o'clock, I'll be able to shovel. This got about another minute on the bloom, and the coffee is almost done. So I'll be able to have my first cup of coffee here this morning, which will be nice. And then we're gonna add our 2 cups of flour, and that's why I had the other one done ahead of time, so we could kind of have these going, and I could mix this up. But it is what it is. That's how today's gonna go. I got that feeling. But once we get that done and we get that over to rest, then we'll make our powdered sugar and all that kind of thing. But that's blooming up nice, and it's actually about 3 months past the expiration date on the yeast. But that's why like I said, keep it in the refrigerator, keep it sealed, keep the air out of it, and it increases your time for things to be able to last, especially dry goods, way past their expiration. I do that with all my beans, coffee. Once I've opened it, if I have big cans, like that CDM can, that can's like 32 ounces. So what do we got here? We'll get our, all right. All right, so that's bloomed up. That's had its 10 minutes. That's had its 10-minute snack. We're gonna add in the milk, egg into there. And I also want to get a half a tablespoon of butter onto here. We're gonna back this camera up now a little bit so you guys can see what I'm doing. There we go. Very cool. Okay, so now we're gonna back up and go to right about there. I'm gonna take a tablespoon and a half of butter. I'm gonna throw that into the nuker, and that'll be ready to go. Could have done that while I was messing around, but I didn't. So get that 30 seconds in there. We're gonna throw this into here. All the other good stuff. And if I was gonna make more, I would throw another egg yolk into it, to be really honest. But then shovel and snow blow. I don't have a snow blower. I don't have a big enough driveway to really constitute a snow blower. It's just a 1 lane, big enough for 1 car kind of thing. That sort of deal. And so yeah, snowblower for me doesn't really make a lot of sense. Currently 20 degrees. Rain coming here in a couple hours here in South Carolina. Oh, okay. Yeah, you guys are at the tail end of everything. Texas, it seems like Oh, now the city's out. The city's out. They finally made it out to do their thing, which is good. That's nice that they did. They're out now. And I live in a pretty small town. So the city will actually come in, and if they have time, they'll actually plow your driveway too. So I have that going for me, which is pretty nice. Let's see, a couple hours. Yeah, it's hitting everybody. I think anybody Texas, east of Texas is gonna get this in one way, or another. It's gonna happen. Put a little bit more butter in there to cool that down. Add it just a little bit at a time. And we're gonna put our flour. I'm gonna go ahead and put our flour in, and then I'll mix that butter into that. We'll just get things speeded up here. Because I don't like to lag around. That off to the side. So 2 cups, plus I might add a little bit more flour to it. Because I had to add a little bit more than what most recipes called for, or it just was like, I know it's a sticky dough, but at the same time, this was way too sticky. And I'm not going to sift it. I never sift flour. Uh-oh. The Beagle's giving the city people the business. They must be doing something wrong. She's letting them know how to do her job. Or at least letting them know that she's here. Maybe she's telling them to make sure they plow the driveway. That could be what she's doing. She's making sure they plow our driveway too. But I think that is a nice thing that they go and plow the driveways for people. If they have time. They don't do it for everybody. But they do it for, it's kind of a small town. People know people. So you have certain people that can't get out and do their sidewalks and driveways and get out. So they kind of hook them up. Let me just run down, make sure I got everything in here. And that's it. So we are set with the ingredients. That's all the ingredients. That's all there's going to be for this. And I'm kind of feeling inadequate with my mixer today. Min called me last night, and her mixer that she ordered for Christmas with all of her Christmas goodies, money or whatever, she bought herself with a 7-quart KitchenAid stand mixer in pistachio green, and she was all showing that off last night. She made apple fritter cinnamon rolls in her new mixer last night. Oh, and I'm going to put this, once that's mixed in a little bit, we'll add some of that butter. The butter's kind of warm, so I don't want to over butter and ruin this stuff up. There we go. There's our butter. Now the butter's in. There we go. I'm definitely ready for some coffee this morning. Definitely ready for some coffee. I gotta mix up my milk that I have warming up back there in the back. So we'll go over there while that's doing that, and we'll give our butter a mix, or give our milk a mix. There we go. There we go. Back over here. We brought that up. We're using the Descoware number 3 to kind of heat our milk in the back. And that's just warming with the heat of you can see how the fat's rising. It kind of looks like the skin but it's actually not. It's just the cream from the milk rising up. Yeah, I know, they're not plowing their driveway. Give them hell. Give them the business. Bark at them. Tell them what's going on. So we give that a mix. Come back over here to the mixer. Speaking of mixing, we be cooking. Yeah. I don't know what it was. I just reset everything and turned everything back off. I think it's just the weather was the issue with the sound. None of my settings were off. I would have had to literally turn the settings off to have them be an issue, and I had everything on, so there's not really a whole heck of a... The camera that I'm using isn't really an advanced, you know, there's not a lot of settings to it. It's kind of on and off, and you pick your frames and whatever. Pick what you want to do in, set your lighting, and go. It's pretty, that's why I have it, because it's pretty easy. It's kind of easy to fix on the go, is what I should say. So if you can see down into there. But I might, at some point, actually add just a little bit more flour. But I have the color I want. And like I said, I've never made these, but there's a lot of things that I've done on the channel that I've never made, and it's come out pretty darn good. So I'm not gonna let that not ever trying it stop me from doing anything. As Julia Child said, be fearless in the kitchen. So we'll add just a little bit, about 1/8 of a cup, about maybe 2 or 3 tablespoons. This is, I really missed an opportunity to have the security vest on the dog today, because she is definitely getting locked down. She's in supervision mode. Yeah, she's not joking. She's not joking this time. She's left her warm spot on the couch to let everybody know how things should be working. Get back over here. And she really likes my neighbor lady as well. She's a big fan. She's a big fan of the neighbor lady. I think she likes the neighbor lady a lot more. The neighbor lady does like her quite a bit, but I think she likes the neighbor lady a lot more than the neighbor lady likes her. She is on duty. She's not messing around. She's not screwing around. It is 100% on point right at the moment. There we go. Now we're getting a little more. That's a little more what I wanted. Let me flip this up again. And this is about what I want. We'll scrape down off the hook here and get that into there. And there we go. You guys can see that down into there. It's kind of starting to ball up. It's a really nice. When I see people make these, and I actually watched them make them at Cafe du Monde. I watched a video a couple times about them doing it, and it was pretty interesting. But it was kind of a shiny dough, which is a little, not so much like your bread flours or bread dough. And as soon as it starts to pull away, which it is, we should be about done, and that's where we're at. It is going to be a little bit sticky. Add just a little bit more flour to it. Kind of break it away, and that's going to be about it. And I'm going to take it out, I'm going to roll it into a ball, and then we're going to let it sit. There we go. All right, take this off, move that around to the other. There we go. Need that anymore. That down into there. And this is going to be it says it's going to be a really sticky dough. and I believe them. By the way, this is looking. There we go. Ball that up. Very sticky. Oh, I need a bowl. I need a bowl to put it in. Let me take the gloves off and get down the bowl. And I'm going to flour it too. I'm going to flour it up a little bit, just so it's a little easier to work with. Kind of like sourdough bread. When you're working with sourdough bread, sourdough dough is actually a little sticky, so I'm just going to put a little flour on there to work with it. And you have to really dust. Like that's one of the things with this, when I do actually get it out and start cutting it, we are going to have to dust like the snow outside. To get everything where we want it. The bowl, that's what I wanted. The bowl to put it in. And we'll oil that bowl up. A little bit of grapeseed neutral. We'll stay neutral. And wipe that around. Move that back. Get the paper towels out. Oil this up halfway decent. There we go. Glove back up. Well, I don't think I'm going to glove up for this. I don't want to do that. Put it back on here. There we go. Flour around pretty good. And I'm going to flour. Actually, I'm going to flour that other side. So just a little easier to work with to get out. Drop a little pile back there. Don't have to use it all. It's just nice to have it in there to do it. And there we go. And it is going to be very shaggy, so that's nothing to be concerned with either. And we've got some oil in there, and we'll work that around just a little bit, kind of smooth it down, nice and even, and then we'll put some wrap on top of that after I rinse my hands. And that's got to double in size, like I said. So I'm going to set the timer on that one. But I do have this other one in the background that we're going to try out, and hopefully that works. So the timer at 1 hour. Keep that covered in plastic wrap. The one thing that sucks about when I got this island for here in the kitchen, it shows a drawer. If you guys can see right here on the just past the thing there, the drawer handle, it's false. There is no drawer handle. There's no drawer. So I thought I had a drawer where I could just keep stuff. And then it has a drawer on the other side, and it's not very big. Wasn't too jazzed about all that. As far as being able, I just wanted to be able to have all my utensils right there. But other than that, other than bitching about that, so far it's come in really handy. Wrap on there. Used to be, I really like those little cutters on the plastic wrap. I know that's kind of like minutia, but I do like those cutters. Because I used to be, one of my biggest nemesis in life used to be plastic wrap, until they started putting those cutter things on them. I always used scissors before that. I could never get it to cut off with the, I could never get the plastic wrap to tear off correctly. Okay, so we're gonna set that off to the side. Over here by the coffee maker. I'm gonna pour some coffee into here. Get a nice big cup. A nice big cup of coffee, and we're gonna do half of that. Half coffee and chicory. And the other half we're gonna be using, I don't have a milk steamer, so it is what it is as far as that goes. And then I'm gonna pour that into here. And we've got the other half cream, warm milk is what I should say. And a little bit of sugar in there. Normally I'm not big on sugar in the coffee, but when in Rome, right? I use, it's a restaurant size plastic for that reason. I usually destroy the box on the regular plastic wrap way before it runs out. Yeah, man, I tell you what, nothing used to make me more mad than plastic wrap. And I can remember as a kid, I used to work in I used to work at a restaurant kind of cafeteria kind of place. And my biggest thing ever was fighting with plastic wrap. I mean, as like a 15, 16-year-old kid just being furious at a roll of plastic wrap. There we go. Give this a try. Hello there, I'm Owen. I am all Win. Good morning. Is it morning? No, it's afternoon. Good afternoon. Late start with that sound. And I still for the life of me can't figure out what the deal is with the sound, but is what it is. That coffee's great. Yeah, that's good. That coffee and chicory thing is that's my new favorite coffee. 100% my new favorite coffee. So we're going to move the mixer out of the way. We don't need that anymore because we're going to go to the blender. Because here what we're going to do is, I'm out of powdered sugar, so we're going to make powdered sugar really quick. And this this is one of those hacks that comes in really handy because I don't use a lot of powdered sugar. But there's been times in the past where I've wanted to use powdered sugar and I don't have it. So what we're going to do is, I wish that one was the way it was supposed to be. I could read it a little better. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I don't want a lot. So, but for every cup of sugar, you want to use about 1 tablespoon of cornstarch. I used to put chicory in coffee in order to decrease the bitterness in coffee. Really, maybe that's the only time I'd ever heard of anybody using chicory in coffee or having chicory coffee was in Gone with the Wind. When Scarlett O'Hara during the war in the movie, I mean not during the actual war, but in the movie, where she would talk about not having coffee, so they use chicory. So I'm going to use a half a cup of sugar in there. I think, yeah, about a half a cup of sugar. And then I'm going to use just a little bit, get it down there. So we're going to use our half cup. And this is going to be the one drawback to making your own powdered sugar at home is it's going to look like, once I open that lid, if I don't let it settle, it's going to look like my blender's on fire. So we're going to use about a tablespoon. Get Get him, Beagle. You let him know. So we're gonna use about a half of a tablespoon of cornstarch for this. That's a lot. Ray A. Okay. This is a nice set of cast iron. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Oh, gotta plug it in. There we go. And we just this when I take this off, it's gonna be pretty dusty. I'll knock that down. Use a little spatula there. And I was using, I just used the unrefined sugar to begin with, which it almost has a brown sugar look to it. There we go. Set that off to the side. And we'll put that on there. And we have powdered sugar. Yeah, that came out really well. So there's a free hack without going to looking up on the interwebs. If you ever getting stuck when you don't have powdered sugar. There you go. Okay, perfect. And we'll show you the consistency of it. And these little funnels that they have for these deals, you can see into the inside of that. Definitely one of those funnels. Even if you don't get a canning. Let's see. I wonder how sugar would work. I don't know. I've never used it. And I was just kind of in the back of my head wondering if you could do it with brown sugar, but I think it might be too sticky. But yeah, you can see that it came out. If you can make sure that you guys can actually get a look at that. It came out really nice. And that will go in our bags. So, because we're going to do this, we're going to serve it up just like they do at Cafe du Monde. We're just going to throw it in paper sacks. We're going to shake it up, and we're going to have beignet. And that's where we'll be with it. We got that. And we'll put a lid on it. We'll get a lid for that. And we will mark it, so I don't use it as flour one of these times. And one of the handiest things that I've ever picked up while I was out, especially if you use a lot of mason jars, are these little dissolvable labels. These work great, and you just throw them right on the top. Write down what you got. I don't can, but I use a lot of canning type stuff. I do can. Well, I mean, I make yogurt and things like that. I don't do like pressure cooking canning, but I make yogurt and I do a lot of things like that. And we'll just write what that is on the top of there. And we'll probably end up using all this anyway, but just in case I don't want to mix that up with my flour. Enjoy the beignets. Oh, thank you so much. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe and hit the like button if you're taking off. And we'll see you soon. Okay, so we got that right there. So the powdered sugar's ready. We'll get a couple paper bag. We'll get a paper bag or two out, and I'm just using regular lunch bags. So those are handy. I always keep a couple lunch bags around. Keep a sack of lunch bags because they do come in handy, and we'll set those off to the side. Open them up. I'm probably thinking I might just double these up. That one back there, in the back. And I saw another person make, now I'm trying to remember what the name of the place was in New Orleans, but they make, and I wish I would have seen it sooner because I would have made this. They made lobster roll beignet. And I'm telling you what, you want to talk about something that looks fantastic. If you're a fan of lobster roll, you would definitely like it. But there's a place down in New Orleans, about a block or two away from Cafe du Monde, that makes lobster roll beignets. And I'm telling you what, at some point, folks, we're going to give that a day in court. Coffee and chicory, CDM. The other one that I've picked up along the way, because I've been trying a bunch of these, and if you didn't see the post that I put up about it, if you're new to the channel today, the other one, I actually like this one better than the Cafe du Monde, is the French Market one. I really like that one. That's a good one. And I'm gonna try some of their other ones. And at first, when I got it, because the label was green and white, I almost thought it was decaffeinated, and I was kind of upset, but it is not. Another drink of our coffee. And then we're gonna move a few things out of the way because we're gonna go over here because this has actually risen up where I wanted it to be. And we're gonna take that over to the counter onto the cutting board, and we are going to roll it out. So we'll put the cutting boards down and roll that, put that where we need it to be. Just give me 1 second. That can be over here, out of the way. We've got our stuff to put them on. Got a rack right there. And let me get my roller out and the cutting board out. And we'll be in business. Here we go. Bring you guys over to the usual spot. Make sure you send. He's got nice iron. Thank you so much, Handsome Son. Brown sugar has too much molasses. Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking. But there we go. Okay, so here we are. So we're over to this part. We are going to flour this up really, really well. And we're going to make these about a 1/4 inch thick on the cutting board. And you really have to use a lot of flour because this is super, super sticky. But we're going to take this out in little bits and roll it out. So I think this is actually, I'm hoping that this, I didn't like the consistency of it, of the recipe I tried the first time. There we go. And we're just going to break off some chunks here. And we're going to push this. We're going to push this down. Can you guys see what the heck I'm doing here at all? Okay, and then we're going to push that down. We're going to push the Gonna punch down the dough and get all the air out of it, like so. And I'm gonna ball that up. There we go. That rose up pretty good. It just seemed really dense. But, so I wanted to remake it, and that's what I did over there. And it comes down to it, but we have 45 minutes till the other dough's done, and I don't think anybody wants to stick around till the other dough's done. So, I will be making beignets this afternoon. Sure everybody can see that all right? Yeah, everybody can see. And then we're going to just get the dough cutter. Gonna get the end of that kind of scraped around. We're just going to break a piece off of here and go to work. So I do want, at some point, want to get a really, really big cutting board. At some point, and this is not too much flour for this job. Okay, and we want to roll this down to where it's really, really flat. Before I knock that over. I want it down to about 1/4 of an inch. There we go. There we are. Check to see what's going on in the comment section, if anything at all. The like button is definitely not getting much love today. I hope the subscribers are hitting some love with the subscribers anyway. I almost feel like I'm making pizza dough. I want to get them as square as I possibly can. And as flat as I can get them on that little surface. I would say that's pretty darn close. We'll get those little edges worked in. These edges worked in. And we're going to cut out some squares. Cut the edge off here so we get the squares. Because I do want them to look like they do down there. And we can always roll that into the rest of that. I don't think they care about them. In Cafe du Monde, from what I saw, they don't really care if they're in squares, but I do. So we're going to go about 2-inch pieces all the way down. There we go. And then we'll check the temperature of that. Check the temperature of the oil. So that's been over there. It's kind of milling around. I haven't really paid much attention to it. So they're sort of even. Even enough for me. Let's go over here and get everybody this way. Over here to the oil. Hopefully I have enough cord. I think that might be, actually I'm going to kick that light off because I think it's going to wash it out just a little bit. And we'll just do the other light, or natural light. That might wash it out a little bit too much once I open the inside up and it's white on the inside. So there we are. Check the temperature on this and get that going. My hands wiped off here. Nothing like some beef tallow. There we go. Right there. Perfect. Take its temperature and see where we're at. This is rolling along now. Let's see where we're at. 160, 85, 92, 200. Once that gets going up there, it'll be up there. And it won't take long. I actually brought the beef tallow in from the freezer. I had, well, I don't know how much, this is probably 2 pounds. Probably 2 pounds of beef tallow here. 235. And we'll let that get up there. We'll throw a little piece of that dough in there to get them. Once that starts going, we'll know we're in business. And in the meantime, let's make another cup of coffee. Because I got a feeling that that's going to go pretty quick. So we'll see how that does over there. Oh yeah, she's bubbling. Gurgling now. Boy, that is nice dark. I love the dark roast of the there we go. Now she's talking. That's awesome. You gotta like it when your grease is talking back to you. A nice warm milk in there with that. There we go. Now, one thing I noticed when I was watching people that were trying, get that cream down in there. When people were actually trying beignet for the first time, and they were at Cafe du Monde, that the coffee was extremely hot. Like that's the thing they said the most. They were like, "Man, this coffee is the hottest coffee I've ever had in my life." They obviously didn't doing something different that they don't care about the McDonald's lawsuit. And I don't blame them. Make your coffee hot. It's gotta last. So yeah, we're at 240. Getting hot. Yeah, it's moving up there. Oh, one piece is doing. But essentially what it looks like is we made bread dough with extra sugar in it. That's really what it seems like it is. I was really surprised that I didn't see any recipes that put like baking soda or cornstarch or any of that kind of stuff. Baking powder. I didn't see one recipe that did that. But this might be another one that I mess around with later on. Okay, so we crank that. I'm gonna crank that up just a little bit more. I don't like to go too high with stuff right away. Ease into it, if at all possible. There we go. I care more about the taste. They could be square, star, circle, oblong shape, right. Did you render your own tallow? No, I did not render my own tallow. I got this from my butcher shop expanded, and they have more like a, it's almost turning into a grocery store anymore. Like they just got beer and wine, look from local, but it's all local stuff. It's like local beer, local wine, cheese. They have a cheese counter now. They have, they even do dog treats. That's where I get like the Beagle's liver treats and pig ears and all that stuff. I don't get them from the store anymore. I get them right from the butcher shop. And the liver is real liver. The pig ears are real pig ears. The bones came right off everything. And every Thursday they do the fresh meat. It used to all be frozen. They kind of got famous for their hamburgers. Was their big claim to fame. And then they just expanded from there. Now they have chicken, pork, sauce. They're doing their own sausages there now. their own beef jerky there now. They're doing a lot of stuff. And they have the Wildman's section that has the herbs, which I used to have to go to the couple towns over to go to the Wildman's place, because I'm lucky enough that we actually have a Wildman's. The Wildman's processing site is right over where we get all the herbs and spices and everything. They have a display in there now, so I can just go right there and get Wildman's, which is pretty nice. I mean, it really is. Let's turn that up just a little bit more. See how that one little piece is doing in there. It's floating. It's a floating. Now I'm gonna have two pans. I'll pull this one off, because this one in the back, the Dutch oven back there, that's mixed with, that's one we've been doing fries and chicken and all kinds of other stuff in, so I didn't want to, this is actually full of tallow and oil already, but it's just sort of sitting back there. I didn't want to, what do you want to say, cross-contaminate them and get the taste of like fried chicken in with this. I wanted it just how they do it in New Orleans, as close as I could do. You know, I don't, just some guy from Ohio trying beignets for the first time that I make. They're probably not near as good as what they make in New Orleans. Let's see. But yeah, here we go. We should be getting up there in just a second or two. Yeah, that whole no sound thing, that kind of threw me off a little bit this morning. But it is what it is. We will survive. Oh, Laura Branigan song? Or Amy Grant. I think that was her name back in the day. Or probably still is. So we're pushing up to 325, past 325, 328, 330, 335. That's right about where I want to be, is 335 to do these. All right, cool. So let's drop one of these in, and we're just going to let it go until it turns really, really brown. There we go. I'm going to give them enough room to do their thing. Space them out. Ooh, they're getting fat already. Cool. But yeah, and I don't, you know, the thing of it is, like with Mardi Gras and all that kind of stuff, I've never really paid attention. Being from the north, you know, you don't really pay attention to things like, unless you actually go and experience Mardi Gras and Carnival, you don't really know how that stuff is. You know what I mean? You don't really, like king cake. We were going to make king cake. I wanted to make king cake a while ago. An old man with a pan did king cake not too long ago, and it looks really, really good. His came out really like what you see on like on TV. His came out really nice. But he does a lot of baking in cast iron, which is pretty cool, I think. But they are puffing up. Can you guys see that? These are really like blowing up. So I think I might actually, that recipe, that might be what I'm after. And I want to throw a little bit of oil on there as I go. Flip these over. Let them get a little browner than that. But I didn't want to go, oh yeah, that's it. That's looking like what I want. Very cool. That is so cool. Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted. Can you see how puffy those are getting? That is awesome. Yeah, that's super cool. And we'll let that other side, and you can hear it on there that these are really, really, really like hollow, and that's what you wanted. Man, I wish I had lobster here. I would do those lobster rolls today. So that sounds fantastic. Let that other side cook up. Let both these. Let that side. I'm gonna brown that other side on this one a little bit better. There we go. Boy, they puffed right up. That's what I'm talking about. Make sure I don't burn the other side of these. Man, that's cool. At least, okay, since we started out a little rough this morning, I'm pretty happy with where we're at now. I will take that. That's what I think. That's about where I want them to be. They never really said how long to do this, but I'm going by what they look like, and I think that's where I want them. It's just about right there. So I'm going to tray these up. Another flip. They weren't really, I don't know, they were messing with them a lot though. Okay, there we go. Put them onto the tray, let them kind of sit there for a second, and we'll throw some other ones in there. Boy, they smell good. Oh man, they smell really good. They do smell really good. We got to throw that out there. We'll let that one other dance in there for a minute. Just for just a couple seconds. Kind of even that color up. Wow. Can you guys see those? Man, that is looking pretty, that's looking pretty dope, as the kids say. So let's take these over here. We're gonna set these over onto this. I'm gonna run the camera back over to here. I'm gonna turn the temp down on that foil a little bit while I'm not using it. So it doesn't get nuts on me while I'm not looking at it. Never leave your grease, never leave your oil unattended. Okay, so we're gonna bag these up like they do there. Let me get some tongs, because these bad boys are really hot. And they say the average order is 3, so I'm kind of a big eater, so I think 4 is gonna be my order. There we go. Order 1 up. We're gonna grab our powdered sugar, which if I can remember what the hell I did with it. Oh, there it is, back there. Turn the light back on, give you guys the light. Throw the powdered sugar in here. That looks like enough. Put it in the sack. Get that light back on. Now that we're back over in this part, because I was right next to the window, so it was kind of washing everything out. There we go. Put that back on here. Viggs is like, when do I get a beignet? And we'll get this down. Just a little plate here real quick. Even we'll put it on one of our nice French plates. They smell like marshmallows. Ooh, look at that. That's what I'm talking about. Look at them bad boys. Probably could have used a little bit more sugar even. Looky there, huh? All that work was definitely worth it. Let's have some beignet. What are you looking at, Beagle? You want a beignet? And I'll get our coffee. Let's get our coffee. New Orleans style coffee, half cream, half milk, or half whole milk, steam or heated, and a beignet. Wow. That is super good. If you're not smashing that like button right now, your fingers are broken. That's insanely good. Look at, oh man. Those are, it's almost like funnel cake. I want to say it's almost like funnel cake in a way. Man, those are good. Wow. Wow, that's good, guys. For all these years, I did not know what I was missing. Thanks, Bob. Thank you so much. They are amazing. And the powdered sugar, the powdered sugar worked, that little powdered sugar hack. Man, that's good. A little jazz in the background. All you folks down in New Orleans, you know what you're doing. I don't know if it's appropriate. Is that what you say, Happy Carnival or whatever? But you guys did this right. So crunchy. And can you see in the inside? That's exactly what I wanted. Exactly what I wanted. They're supposed to puff up like that. Maybe this year, kind of like we did last year with Asian food and Asian and Southwestern food. Maybe this year is the year to go into Louisiana style, New Orleans style cooking. That looks nice. I'll come right over with my black raspberry filling just as soon as I dig out. Man, that would be great in here. Yeah, I'm gonna eat all these, man. I didn't think. Thanks, Ronald. Appreciate it. They are. I got to tell you, these are fantastic. Especially with that coffee. That coffee is really good stuff. Like I said, I like the French Market. It's a little bit better, but the CDM. I'm gonna add. Just my coffee's getting a little cold, so I add a little fresh shot to it. But man. But the inside is what I was really hoping it wouldn't be, how do you want to say it? That it wouldn't be doughy. It's not doughy at all. It's moist though. It's got a good moist, like spongy, it's like spongy, almost like a Twinkie on the inside. But then it's really crispy on the outside. Should have made the 36 to 48. I'll tell you what, with all the dough I have, I probably do. And my neighbors don't know it right now, but there's going to be a lot of people on my block here pretty quick that are going to be having beignet here in just about in the next 40 minutes or so, because I've got a lot of these sacks, and I tell you what, I can't eat all these. I don't know if you can freeze that dough or not. I'm gonna go to the dip again. And it doesn't help that I haven't had anything. I didn't eat breakfast yet today, so I'm definitely I'm definitely ready. Yeah, lucky neighbors. Yeah, they have no idea. That lady that's out shoveling her walk right now, though. I might even give it. If that guy's still out there plowing for the city, he might get a bag too. Yeah, he's definitely gonna get a bag of these. I got a ton of dough. I've got. I'm gonna be knocking on people's doors, handing these out, and they're gonna be like, I'm gonna show up there with all this powdered sugar all over my face. They're gonna be like, what in the hell is that wrong with this guy? I look like I'm freezing. You can freeze it? Okay. I'm gonna take you at your word, Handsome Stone. Because I can't eat all this. There's another great example of what they look like on the inside. Yeah, and I could definitely, like some kind of like an eclair filling or something like that, man. You fill that up with an eclair filling, man, you'd be doing it right. You would definitely be doing yourself a favor. But anyway, I'm going to let you guys get out of here. I'm going to jump off here. I know it was a shorter show due to the technical difficulties at the beginning. I don't know. It must have just been the storm affecting the internet or like my reception or whatever, because I didn't do anything to get it going other than turn the camera off and back on and let it sit for 7 seconds. I don't know what happened, but anyway, I appreciate you guys, everybody showing up. We are going to give the Beagle a little bit of beignet. She has been sitting here waiting patiently, licking her chops, and being exceptionally good. Let me get her in there. There she is. But everybody hit the like button. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe. I do this stuff all the time. Oh, somebody knows it was time to spin. I don't want to give her too many of these. Just like I shouldn't have too many of these. I've been doing really good. I did my New Year's resolution was to lose 35 pounds this year. And I lost 9 so far until today. Can you catch it? Let's catch it. Nice. Good job. We're going to go through all of them. We're going to do all the tricks. Since we kind of had a shorter show. Can you speak? Can you speak? Thank you. Good one. And a good catch. She's come a long way on her catching too. She's doing pretty good on the catching. Oh, you're welcome, Bob. Thank you so much for stopping by. Can you speak again? Speak. Speak. Speak good. Speak good. There you go. I won't make fun of you for your high-pitched bark. Because you're just a little dog. We got one more. We'll just do one more. Sit. Oh, that was a spin. You gotta sit. Like down, down. There you go. Ready? Catch it. All right. All right, she did real good. All right. Thanks everybody for stopping by. Thanks so much, Rick Stumbaugh, for moderating this madness and sticking around today. I really appreciate it. You might not have been affected by the weather as much as some of the other folks. Greg Hart, wish you could have been here today, but understand, especially because this was your idea and it was a great one. So thank you so much for everybody who hung out and did all that. And we will talk to you guys later. All right. See you.